Nice to be back. I've had a very busy spring with a birthday party for my dad, another big party at our house, and a visit to the Canadian Open. Here is a picture of me and Rory. This is the Rouge National Urban Park, and I am on the Monarch Trail, and it is a great bike trail. It goes through a rare white cedar savanna, and it is gorgeous. There are even better looks at this savanna later in the video, but oops, that is where I accidentally made a mistake. A cedar savanna is where the cedar trees are spread out enough so that the canopy is not closed. This allows for growth of an understory of grass, or in this case, ferns and other small plants. There are a few small hills and a beautiful open area, all on a wide paved trail. I decided to turn off onto another trail called Tallgrass Trek. I thought this trail was hiking only, no bikes, so I decided to walk my bike. But actually, bikes are allowed on this trail. It was nice to slow down though and get a good look at the trees. Amazing to see the new growth on these white pines. All the light green parts have grown this spring. Some of the higher branches have about a half a meter of new growth. And remember, this is a white pine because the needles are attached in groups of 5. Now that the leaves are out, we can more easily identify deciduous trees like this silver maple. You can see the leaves have deep notches, and when you flip the leaf over, it's a silver color. You can really notice the silver when the leaves are blowing in the wind. After the quick Tallgrass Trek loop, we are back on the paved Monarch Trail. The trail is not well marked, so I had to use my All Trails app more than once to find the way. I'm at the west end of the trail, and the way back is a very different type of trail. I looked at this map to confirm that the Monarch Trail is a bike trail, which it is, but it wasn't until I got home that I saw the fine print. In tiny letters under the bike symbol, it says partial. It turns out the south part of the trail is not intended for bikes, but I didn't know that, so I rode my bike through this area by accident. And here we go along the south section. You are in for a treat. This beautiful tree is a black walnut. You won't find these very many places in Canada since we are at the north edge of their range here in southern Ontario. We're back in the Cedar Savannah now. What a special place. And there's a small sugar maple hidden in between the cedars. You can see the classic maple leaf shape of the leaves. The grass is a little overgrown in parts. Make sure you wear long pants tucked into your socks to keep ticks off your skin. I did find some poison ivy along the trail, 3 leaves together, and quite often the edges of the leaves are jagged. There's another short bike trail called the South Central Trail, and I'm just going to quickly check it out. I went about 1 kilometer to the road and turned around, and it is mostly farmland. Back on the paved trail, and just a few hundred meters back to where I parked. Here is the Rouge National Urban Park, and I am in this section here in Markham. For the Monarch Trail, there are 3 parking areas, and I parked at this one on 14th Avenue. Parking and admission is free. I cycled along this wide paved bike trail, crossed Reeser Road, and then crossed 14th Avenue to continue on the Monarch Trail on the north side. If you continue on the south side of 14th, you'll be on the Tallgrass Trek. Here's where I took a detour along part of the Tallgrass Trek. I walked, but it seems bikes are allowed. Cross 14th Avenue again and continue on the south side. This will bring you to the main parking lot for the Bob Hunter Memorial Park. This is where the Monarch Trail becomes a hiking-only trail. It is clear on this map, but the maps I looked at were less clear. I found the trails confusing with only a few trail markers. Strangely, there were no Monarch Trail signs anywhere. I recommend using the All Trails app to keep on the Monarch Trail through the next couple of turns. This part of the Monarch Trail joins back up with the paved trail I took in the beginning, and there is one more trail, the South Central Trail, that starts here. It goes 2 kilometers one way, and then you'll have to turn around and come back. The north cycling section of the Monarch Trail is 3.3 kilometers. If you take the Tallgrass Trek like I did, this small section is about 800 meters. From the west end back to the east end, the Monarch Trail is another 3.3 kilometers. My total was about 8 kilometers.